And this is Lala Madness, and thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Fierce Review. So, you know where to find me at. On all social media platforms at Lala Madness, Instagram at Lala Madness Official. Also, check out my YouTube channel and all of the podcasting platforms, Lala Madness, as well.
Jumping right out the pot, back up the knots. More 4-5s and 9 than the deck of cards and they hot. Go pop a car, whip out the lot, pull up at Walnut, y'all forgot. I got the best on the
In this episode, we will be discussing P Diddy because I want to know, just like I'm sure y'all want to know, what is going on with P Diddy. So, in this case, I've gathered or compiled rather a lot of information, both past and current, so you guys can have a gist or idea of things that you probably didn't know happened back in the day, because some of you may be a little younger, but us old school people know things that happened back then. So, there is a video of P Diddy on Instagram with Drake, right? So, he was telling Drake that it's something very important that he needed to tell him. So he said that there's been a study of, or that he's studying music, science, arts, math, and the numbers and codes that go into it. Now, he said all the top 5 in the game, all the top 5, meaning top 5 entertainers or top 5 people in the music industry or whatever have you, have a code, and he didn't learn this code until about 2 or 3 years ago. He didn't know about it. So now refer back, if you guys remember what happened about 2 or 3 years ago, right? So, but that's for a later episode. That would be the Kim Porter situation. Yeah, right. That was about 2-3 years ago as far as the timeline goes. Now, what he is referring to as far as the numbers go is gematria, which is something that I'm not going to get into in this video. It's a study of numbers and letters, which go back to the cabal and the industry and a bunch of other stuff. Okay. That you guys need to research on your own if you want to know about it. However, I won't go into it on this channel. But if you're interested in gematria, you can check out Zach Hubbard. It's very good. He has a couple books out. He does gematria very well. Gematria of Fake News is his channel, but Zach Hubbard is the guy that you can refer to for gematria stuff. But anywho, now for some recent news. So P Diddy's Toluca Lake, California home was broken into, and as reported on TMZ recently. They're the ones that reported it, or broke the news rather. It's been reported on other media outlets as well, but that's where it started. The home is actually where Kim Porter resided, which is his baby mama, or the mother of his child, so to speak, or children, whatever have you. And she died in 2018, which was that 2-3 year ago incident he was mentioning, from pneumonia. Okay, so they reported that a caretaker called the police after an alarm went off, and someone gained entry through a side door on the property, which is very strange, but okay, it was reported. Anywho, now being that Diddy did not live there, it's not apparent if anything was taken, or he's not aware at this point if anything was taken, being he doesn't live there. Okay, now, if you guys recall, or some of you may or may not know, there was an incident involving an artist named Shine. You can look them up so you can see there's the background story on that. And yeah, so following the death of Biggie in 97, P Diddy released the artist Shine, who happened to sound a lot like Biggie for some strange reason, or maybe it wasn't a strange reason, but anywho, he released Shine. Shine had a song called Bad Boys, which was released in about 2000. So there was a series of unfortunate events that kind of took place right after that, or around that time that single was released. So I'm going to tell y'all about it. Now, the events go like this. So for those that didn't know, P Diddy dated Jennifer Lopez, or as we know now, J-Lo. Okay. back in the day. She actually came from being a fly girl in the 90s from a show that was called In Living Color, produced by the Wayans brothers, the Wayans, as everyone would know. Sean, Marlon, Keenan, all of the Wayans, which it's a big group. But back then it started with Keenan Ivory Wayans, so he had In Living Color, which is where Jim Carrey and a bunch of other people got their start. Anywho, J-Lo was a fly girl on there, which was a dancer, so they actually got together, but that's where her entertainment career started. So now there was a shooting on December 27th in 1999 in a Manhattan nightclub. So 3 people were injured, and Shine, J-Lo, and P Diddy. So J-Lo was with P Diddy that night at this event or club, and the bodyguard. So now they all fled the scene after the shooting. J-Lo then broke up with P Diddy to protect her image for her career. So which explains why he had this thing for Cassie, because they dated for like forever. Like he consumed her whole from 20 to 30 something, like the whole middle, your whole time when you're supposed to be popping and having a good time. Yeah, he consumed all of that. So he was with Cassie for about 10 years. So because that was the closest thing that he can get to J-Lo, in my opinion. I'm just saying. Look at Cassie, look at J-Lo, whatever that was, it just was. Okay. So, shortly thereafter, Sean was found guilty on 2 counts of assault, reckless endangerment, and a gun possession. So he went to prison from 2000, to 2009. Now keep in mind, I did just tell you that the song Bad Boys was released in 2000, or about that time. So he didn't have time to really have a career because that was his starter single. Okay. So he went to prison, like I said, from 2000 to 2009, and then he was deported back to Belize when he thought he was getting released in America. But being he is a Belize citizen, that's where he ended up back at. Okay, which now he's actually doing well for himself. He's running for office. He's doing a bunch of, better things than what he was doing, I guess, releasing the single for P Diddy, and then that didn't work out so well. So actually on September 8th of 2020, Sean did an interview with Hot 97, okay, about the incident and how he felt about P Diddy thereafter. So he said that P Diddy actually had a beef with some dudes that was there at the club, that he actually knew that they was kind of about the action. They didn't play them games. If they said it was going down, it was going down. So he kind of said he was protecting himself and the people around him. So, therefore he does not feel like he overreacted. He felt like he reacted how he needed to, and he pulled out and busted when he seen the other dudes were strapped. That's how that happened. People got injured. And then he said P Diddy actually had the best lawyers, and they did throw him under the bus, him being Sean, under the bus to protect the $500 million corporation, which was P Diddy at the time. Okay, so P Diddy is now a corporation, which back then he already was making money. He already was somebody, and they wasn't about to let him go down for nobody that was just starting out with one single. Okay, so basically he took the hit for the boss, or whatever have you, or he did it and felt like, but then again, it was supposed to be some arrangement where P Diddy looked after him or looked out for him, but then he kind of just abandoned him and act like he wasn't part of the situation, or, he wasn't part of the whole, like he wasn't there. Okay, so he disowned him just like how J-Lo did his ass. Boom, bam. Okay, so he did say that P Diddy finally, once they ran into each other way thereafter, that he did apologize and said it was a lot of pressure from his lawyers to leave him hanging, or to leave Sean hanging like that. So P Diddy's lawyers told him to just leave a nigga hanging and go ahead and take the charge. And even if, he got messed up in a situation with you, whether he was protecting you, you don't think you want to look out for him, make sure he has a good lawyer, or pay for that, or since you got so many good ones, or, maybe even make sure he got money on his books or take care of the fam or something. Nothing happened. Okay, boo. So, now also in 2000, there was a show called Making a Band. Okay, Making a Band actually aired on ABC from 2000 to 2001, and then it took off and went to MTV from about 2000 to 2006. So now it was basically a bunch of kids, a bunch of different type groups, because it was Day 26, it was a bunch of other, you know, the band and all that that came from that. So it basically was a bunch of kids trying to make a band with a mixture of personal assistant duties, in my opinion, because P Diddy was on that shit. Y'all need to go to YouTube and find an episode of Making a Band. Okay, and yeah, specifically that one where he sent them to get cheesecake. Alright. Now, this is where you'll see Babs Bunny. If any of you guys know her, she's from Queen of the Ring, which that's where they get a bunch of females together. And they do like an open mic or a rap battle with each other. Not so much as open mic, excuse me, a rap battle. So it's a female rap battle that they go around and do, and a lot of people, actually I watch it, so I'm just saying. So that's what she is over, Queen of the Ring. So you can check that out. That's what Babs Bunny does, and she comes from the show Making a Band that P Diddy did back in the day that nobody knew she probably was even on, but that's where she's from. But now kudos to her for what she's doing now in the industry. So the only other person to do something besides Babs Bunny was Dylan, who was released the album in 2017. Now you know the one that Dave Chappelle did that skit about on the Chappelle show. Yeah, about Dylan Hot Like Fire. If you watch the show, that really was his personality. Dave Chappelle wasn't playing, but he did a good ass job by depicting Dylan in that. Okay, anyway. Now, if you guys also recall, Mace recently posted on social media about his music and that, you know, that he recorded with Bad Boy back in the day. For those that don't know, Mace was a hot artist for Bad Boy back in the day when Little Kim and all them was on it, you know, Little C's and, you know, all that. So, now he recently posted that he left the industry, you know, to become a preacher because he really couldn't record. Whatever contract that him and Diddy had set up or that he ended up signing at the time was basically a bad deal. After that, he went on and, you know, was preaching. I mean, that's how you know people scare the life out of you when you go and start preaching, because you done had a life-altering experience dealing with somebody that you want to preach for the rest of your life. Or maybe he didn't have a choice to because he was blocked and couldn't do nothing in the entertainment or music industry. Think about that. So, now, he said he couldn't record music due to the contract. He said that out of his own mouth, and that Diddy still owes him for his own music. So the music that Mace recorded, Diddy still owns. He still makes money off that. Now, he approached Diddy not too long ago, maybe about a year ago, and was asking about buying his masters and his music that he recorded, and he said he wanted to buy it for $2 million. Diddy said no, because he had someone else in another country willing to pay more, actually. So, more for Mace's music than the $2 million that Mace was offering him for his own shit. Let's be clear. So, now, a few artists that P Diddy signed or that worked with him was Shine, of course we mentioned, Craig Mack, Notorious B.I.G. or Biggie, whichever you want to call it, Faith Evans, Mace, 112, The Lox, Machine Gun Kelly, you know, a lot of people. He worked with French Montana, Cassie, of course, the one he was with forever. He worked with Janelle Monáe, Day 26, Elephant Man, Carl Thomas, Father MC, you know, Stevie J was part of the Hitman crew, which was his production crew for Bad Boy back in the day. Of course, you know, Jodeci, Mary J. Blige, Usher, Lil' Kim, TLC, Mariah Carey, Boyz II Men, SWV. I mean, he worked with a whole lot of people, as well as signed a bunch of people back in the day. So, Jaguar Wright, I'm sure people have been hearing her making buzz going around about stuff that happened in the industry that she's telling on, or she's discussing. I'll say, I won't say telling on. She's spilling all the tea, and I love her for it, because if somebody know it, they might as well tell it. All right, so she says that one day she came in to get Puffy to sign some papers, and she actually worked close with Puffy or worked for Bad Boy sometimes, to some perspective or to some degree back then. And she said Christopher Williams, which is the artist, you can look him up, was performing fellatio, according to her, allegedly, on Puffy. So then Puffy ruined Christopher Williams' career after that, and there was no more Christopher Williams. And then we all know what happened to Jaguar Wright's career. Hers really didn't go nowhere. She released albums. She was saying that they was shelving her stuff for other artists and things like that, or didn't spend the promotional money they should have on her projects. So that's what kind of happened with her career, as well as Christopher Williams's after that little fellatio incident. Now, Kevin Hart also did an interview with P Diddy and Usher, and then they discussed wrestling over cereal. And when Usher would spend the night, and then discussed when Usher would spend the night from when he was about 10 years old on up. And Kevin Hart said that he didn't want to come close to Diddy's bed. He wasn't sitting on it, touching it. He don't want to even do a shot in the video, okay, with P Diddy's bed in the scene. So, you know, I don't know what two grown men talking about wrestling over cereal when, you know, because P Diddy, you know, you old as hell. You way older than Usher to be there. Yeah, if you old enough to have a house for him to be at eating cereal, don't nobody need to be wrestling over shit. I'm just saying. But anywho, now Al B. Shore, who was an artist from back in the day as well, says that P Diddy ruined his career, which Al B. Shore, for those that don't know, is the baby father of Kim Porter, who is the mother of P Diddy's child that I mentioned, or children, whatever have you, that I mentioned died or of pneumonia a couple years ago, and that's whose house also got broken into. So now Al B. Shore himself is saying that P Diddy ruined his career by both of them being her baby daddy, and then he did a video a little while ago too that you guys might want to check out. Hopefully it's not deleted, but it is some tea and he is talking about it. So in my opinion, you know, it's just a whole lot of P Diddy-ness going on. I don't know. He's in the news a lot lately. You know, usually when that stuff starts to happen, being out of the industry a little bit, maybe a lot of it, I feel like it's about to be some Bill Cosby, R. Kelly, I'm fighting for my life situations going on here, because he's done the thing with Drake and told him about. So that's basically like passing a baton. You know what I'm saying? When he's telling him, oh, he learned about these numbers and these letters, it's top 5 people in the industry that get, you know, they're all worked by these numbers and these letters for them to even be in the top 5. And we know he's been in the top 5. He's made a lot of money in the industry. He's messed over a lot of artists and didn't pay people their money right. We've established that. That's not alleged. That's what happened, because people talking about that's what happened to them. He had Toto and a lot of other artists. What happened to them? What they had? And they damn sure ain't talking about it. So, in other words, you know, you get your run, your time is up, and that's that. So we'll find out exactly what happened to P Diddy, or what's going to happen to P Diddy, because stay tuned. I feel like you need to put your seatbelt on, because it's going to be some stuff happening with that. So, you know where to reach me at, Lala Madness, on all social media platforms. Also, check out my podcast. They're on podcasting platforms as well. Visuals, you want to go to YouTube. And once again, Lala Madness.